Your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever have, but it can also be your greatest obstacle. Have you ever wondered why you feel stuck in cycles of doubt, distraction, or frustration? As the Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." What if I told you that with the right mindset and practices, you could completely transform the way you think, feel, and live? Today, we're uncovering 7 timeless lessons inspired by Buddhism that will help you take control of your mind, conquer inner chaos, and unlock your highest potential. Ready to break free and create the clarity and discipline you've been searching for? Let's dive in. 1. Know your inner enemy. Before you can master your mind, you need to recognize what's holding you back. In Buddhism, these mental barriers are called defilements: greed, hatred, and delusion. Think of them as the inner forces that create stress, negativity, and mental clutter. Greed may appear as constant cravings or dissatisfaction. Hatred may show up as anger or resentment, and delusion can be false beliefs or confusion about reality. These defilements cloud your judgment, drain your energy, and keep you trapped in unhelpful thought patterns. The first step to overcoming these obstacles is mindfulness, becoming aware of what's happening inside your mind. Imagine you're a curious scientist, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When negative feelings arise, don't push them away. Instead, pause and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What triggered this reaction? Is there a deeper cause behind this thought or feeling? If you feel jealous, dig deeper. Is it rooted in insecurity, fear of missing out? By understanding the root cause, you can begin to loosen its hold on you. This isn't about labeling yourself as good or bad based on your thoughts. It's about creating self-awareness. When you become aware of what's happening in your mind, you gain the ability to step back and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Over time, this practice helps you quiet the inner noise, gain clarity, and experience more freedom and peace in your everyday life. Self-awareness is the foundation of mental discipline, and with practice, you'll realize that these inner enemies aren't as powerful as they seem. They're simply habits of the mind that you have the power to change. Change who you think you are. Buddhism teaches us that we're not fixed beings, we're constantly evolving. This concept, known as anatta or non-self, means that your current habits, behaviors, and mindset are not permanent. They're simply the result of past conditioning, and you have the power to redefine yourself at any moment. If you want to discipline your mind, the first step is to change how you see yourself. Your identity shapes your actions, so it's important to align your self-image with the person you want to become. For example, instead of saying, "I'm bad at focusing," start telling yourself, "I'm learning to be a more focused and disciplined person." At first, it might feel strange or untrue, but this mental shift is the foundation of personal growth. To reinforce this new identity, take small, consistent actions that align with it. For instance, if you want to become more mindful, commit to meditating for just 5 minutes a day. Sit in silence, focus on your breath, and observe your thoughts. It doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is showing up every day. Over time, these small actions reinforce your new self-image and create lasting change. This approach aligns with the Buddhist principle of samavayama, or right effort, which emphasizes working consistently toward positive transformation. Each time you take an action that supports your desired identity, you're rewiring your brain and training your mind to believe in the new version of you. Remember, changing your identity isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about recognizing your potential and making small, intentional choices to align your thoughts and actions with that vision. With patience and persistence, you'll start to see yourself not as the person you were, but as the person you're becoming. 3. Accept the chaos of life. Life is full of surprises. One moment, everything may seem perfectly fine, and the next, things go off course. Plans fail, people disappoint you, and unexpected challenges appear. It's easy to feel frustrated, stressed, or even helpless when life doesn't go the way you expect. But instead of resisting this chaos, Buddhism teaches us to accept and even embrace it as part of the natural flow of life. When life feels overwhelming, the best thing you can do is take a step back. Pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and remember that change is inevitable. It's important to recognize that no matter how much you try to control everything, life will always bring the unexpected. Instead of fighting against this reality, accept it as part of the journey. Through practices like meditation, you can train your mind to remain calm, even when everything around you feels chaotic. Meditation helps you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to observe them without being swept away by them. By practicing this regularly, you'll build a sense of inner peace that remains steady even when the world around you is in turmoil. With time, you'll start to see challenges not as problems to avoid, but as opportunities to grow stronger. The obstacles you face can teach you resilience, patience, and creativity. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, you'll recognize them as stepping stones on the path to a better version of yourself. When you embrace the chaos, you free yourself from the stress of trying to control everything, and that's when true growth begins. 4. Build systems, not just goals. Goals are powerful. They give us direction and help us envision the future we want to create. However, focusing only on the end result can often leave us feeling overwhelmed, discouraged, or even defeated when things don't go as planned or when progress feels slower than expected. The key to lasting change and growth is not just setting goals, but also creating systems that support and sustain those goals every day. In Buddhism, there's a strong focus on living fully in the present moment and embracing the process rather than fixating on the outcome. This is where systems come in. When you build systems, you're focusing on the small, consistent actions you take every day that, over time, lead you toward your desired outcome. For example, if your goal is to be more mentally clear, simply setting that goal may not be enough. It's too abstract, too distant. Instead, focus on the everyday habits that will cultivate that clarity. You could start by setting aside time each morning for meditation, incorporating deep breathing exercises into your routine, or creating a quiet space for reflection. These systems, when practiced consistently, become your foundation. Systems are powerful because they're designed to be sustainable. Instead of putting pressure on yourself to accomplish big things all at once, you focus on creating a steady rhythm of small, manageable actions that add up over time. This shifts your mindset from, "I need to achieve this goal now," to, "I'm building a way of life that naturally brings me closer to my goal." The beauty of systems is that they work even when motivation is low. On days when you don't feel like pushing yourself, the system is still there, like a safety net that keeps you going, even when your willpower falters. For example, if you set up a system of writing just one paragraph a day toward a book or article, you don't need to wait for a burst of inspiration. You simply follow the system, and over time, you'll be surprised by how much you've accomplished. By focusing on systems instead of solely on the outcome, you make lasting, incremental progress that feels natural, sustainable, and even enjoyable. Discipline isn't about achieving perfection right away. It's about consistently showing up and making small efforts each day that align with your greater vision. And most importantly, with systems in place, the results will follow without the stress of constantly worrying about when or if they'll happen. 5. Strengthen your self-control. Self-control is one of the most powerful tools we have to shape our lives. It's the ability to pause, think, and choose how to respond, rather than reacting impulsively based on our emotions. But let's face it, it's not always easy. In the heat of the moment, especially when emotions run high, it's tempting to act on instinct, whether it's snapping at someone out of frustration, giving in to temptation, or letting anxiety dictate our actions. This is where self-control becomes crucial. Buddhism teaches us that self-mastery begins with awareness. The more aware we are of our thoughts and emotions, the better equipped we are to choose how to respond. Next time you feel a surge of emotion, whether it's anger, fear, or frustration, pause for a moment. Take 3 deep, mindful breaths. This simple act creates a space between the emotion and your reaction, allowing you to respond with clarity instead of being swept away by your feelings. In those few seconds, ask yourself, what's the wisest response right now? By doing this, you invite wisdom into the moment. Self-control isn't about suppressing or ignoring emotions. It's about recognizing them without letting them control you. You are not your emotions. They're simply signals, and you have the power to decide how to act upon them. This practice of mindfulness, which is central to Buddhism, helps train your mind to respond with intention rather than habit. Over time, these pauses become second nature. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to control your reactions, and eventually, you'll find that you respond with more calm, wisdom, and compassion. Self-control also strengthens your ability to delay gratification. Instead of giving in to immediate impulses, you begin to consider the long-term consequences of your actions. This helps you make better decisions that align with your values and goals. Whether it's sticking to a healthy habit, resisting distractions, or keeping your composure during tough situations, each act of self-control builds your mental strength. And just like physical exercise, the more you practice, the stronger you become. Self-control is not about perfection or never feeling overwhelmed. It's about creating space for better choices and responding to life with more grace and wisdom. With time, you'll find that you have greater control over your mind, your actions, and your life. 6. Step outside your comfort zone. Comfort is often the space where we feel safest, where everything is familiar, predictable, and within our control. It's natural to seek out comfort because it provides a sense of security, peace, and stability. But if we stay too long in our comfort zones, we start to stagnate. The truth is, personal growth and meaningful change happen when we push past what's comfortable and venture into the unknown. Buddhism teaches that life is in constant flux. Nothing stays the same, and everything is impermanent. Change, while often uncomfortable, is an essential part of growth. The more we resist stepping outside of our comfort zones, the more we limit our ability to evolve. By leaning into discomfort, we not only learn more about ourselves, but also tap into the vast potential within us. When we experience discomfort, we may feel anxious, fearful, or vulnerable. But discomfort isn't something to fear. It's a sign that we are stretching beyond our current limitations. Just like lifting weights to build muscle, we must expose ourselves to challenges in order to grow stronger. It's in these moments of discomfort that we uncover new skills, perspectives, and strengths that we didn't know we had. Think about the last time you took a leap into the unknown. Maybe it was trying something new, meeting new people, or pursuing a goal you weren't sure you could reach. At first, it probably felt intimidating or even paralyzing. But as you moved through that discomfort, you likely experienced growth, whether it was confidence, a new skill, or a deeper understanding of your own resilience. Now, look at areas in your life where you feel stuck. Is there something you've been avoiding because it feels difficult, unfamiliar, or too risky? Perhaps it's starting a new project, having a tough conversation, or facing a fear. These are the very things that offer the opportunity for growth. Instead of continuing to avoid them, ask yourself, what would it take to take just one small step toward facing this challenge? You don't have to jump into the deep end all at once. Start with small, manageable actions that stretch you little by little. For instance, if you fear public speaking, instead of immediately speaking in front of hundreds of people, you might start by practicing in front of a mirror or a trusted friend. If trying something new makes you anxious, break it down into smaller parts. Perhaps spend just 10 minutes a day learning about it or practicing a related skill. Over time, these small steps will accumulate into something much larger. Stepping outside your comfort zone also requires vulnerability. It means being willing to fail, to stumble, and to feel uncertain. But here's the powerful thing about failure. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a stepping stone to growth. Every failure teaches us something valuable, whether it's a lesson about perseverance, resilience, or the importance of trying again. The more you challenge yourself, the more you realize that discomfort is temporary. What feels difficult today will eventually become easier. And as you keep pushing yourself, your comfort zone will expand, allowing you to take on even bigger challenges with greater confidence. In fact, as you get used to stepping into discomfort, you might even start to crave the growth that comes with it. When you step outside your comfort zone, you also open yourself up to new experiences, opportunities, and relationships that you might have never encountered if you'd stayed in your safe bubble. The world is filled with endless possibilities, but you'll only see them if you're willing to step beyond the familiar and explore the unknown. Ask yourself, what would it take to take that first step today? Whether it's starting a new habit, facing a fear, or tackling something you've been avoiding, embracing discomfort is the key to unlocking your full potential. With every small step you take outside of your comfort zone, you'll discover new layers of strength and resilience within yourself. And ultimately, you'll become the person you were always meant to be. 7. Align discipline with your higher purpose. Discipline is often misunderstood as something rigid, cold, or even punitive. In many cases, people associate discipline with self-denial, restrictions, and a constant push to stay on track. However, when aligned with a higher purpose, discipline transforms from a duty into a source of empowerment and fulfillment. It becomes a conscious choice that moves us towards something greater than ourselves, a way to live a life that feels deeply meaningful and aligned with our deepest values. Buddhism teaches us that living with purpose is at the core of mental peace and emotional balance. When our actions and habits are driven by a higher calling, whether it's to live with compassion, to serve others, to grow spiritually, or to create something meaningful, discipline takes on a new dimension. It becomes less about forcing yourself to do what you don't want to do, and more about making mindful, intentional choices that bring you closer to the life you aspire to live. The first step in aligning your discipline with your higher purpose is to understand what that purpose is. What do you truly care about? What's the greater vision you want to work toward? This could be something personal, like finding inner peace or living a life of integrity. Or it could be something more outward, like helping others, building a community, or contributing to the world in some way. When you take time to connect with this larger vision, it provides clarity and direction in everything you do. Once you've identified your higher purpose, you can start aligning your daily actions and habits with that vision. Let's say your purpose is to cultivate compassion and kindness. Your discipline might involve regular practices like volunteering, practicing gratitude, or simply being more patient and compassionate in your everyday interactions. On the other hand, if your purpose is to grow professionally, your discipline might focus on consistent learning, skill development, and building relationships in your field. Imagine someone who wants to become a mindful leader, someone who inspires others through clarity and compassion. Their daily discipline might include practices such as meditation, journaling, or spending time reflecting on their values and decisions. Each day, they might make small, deliberate choices to listen more deeply, lead with kindness, and stay grounded in their purpose. With this clear alignment, their discipline doesn't feel burdensome or like a checklist. It feels like a natural extension of who they are and what they care about. The key here is to avoid seeing discipline as a set of rules to follow or an obligation. Instead, see it as a set of practices that bring you closer to your higher purpose. The process of living in alignment with your values creates a sense of fulfillment that's far more motivating than simply checking off tasks or reaching external goals. When you live with purpose, discipline becomes easier to sustain because you're not just doing things for the sake of doing them. You're doing them because they bring meaning to your life and help you live more authentically. Another crucial element of aligning discipline with purpose is overcoming the distractions that pull us away from our deeper values. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in fleeting pleasures, distractions, and superficial goals. Instant gratification often tempts us to choose what feels good in the moment over what will lead to long-term growth. But when your actions are tied to a higher purpose, you begin to see past these distractions. You learn to make choices that serve your vision rather than simply choosing what feels easiest in the moment. If your higher purpose is to be a loving, present parent, your discipline might involve creating space for your children, even when your work or other obligations demand attention. If your purpose is to achieve a meaningful career, your discipline might involve regular study, networking, and setting long-term goals, even when it's tempting to indulge in short-term distractions. Each time you choose the path that aligns with your purpose, you reinforce your commitment to that greater vision, and discipline becomes something that is not only manageable, but also incredibly rewarding. Discipline, when connected to a higher purpose, also has a way of building momentum. It's much easier to keep going when you know that each small action you take is contributing to something significant. And even when challenges arise or obstacles get in your way, your higher purpose provides the motivation to push through. You don't need to rely solely on willpower because the drive comes from something deeper, the desire to live in alignment with your values and contribute to something greater than yourself. In moments of doubt or frustration, remember that your discipline is a way to honor your higher purpose. It's not about being perfect, nor is it about achieving everything at once. It's about taking consistent steps, no matter how small, toward a life that reflects the person you want to become. When your discipline is aligned with a higher purpose, you're not just checking off boxes, you're living with intention, mindfulness, and a sense of fulfillment that cannot be easily shaken. Reflect again on what your higher purpose is. What are the values and passions that drive you? What impact do you want to have on the world or in your personal life? Once you've connected with that deeper calling, begin to align your daily habits with it. The more you make decisions from this place of purpose, the more your discipline will become a source of energy, motivation, and deep satisfaction. Your higher purpose will guide you through moments of challenge and inspire you to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward mastering your mind. These 7 lessons are not just steps to success. They're pathways to a deeper, more mindful life. By aligning your actions with purpose, embracing discomfort, and cultivating discipline, you'll start to see that the power to transform your life has always been within you. If these teachings resonated with you and you're eager to explore more ways to live mindfully and with intention, don't forget to subscribe to Buddhism Pathways. Every week, we dive deeper into the wisdom of Buddhism to help you navigate life with clarity, compassion, and purpose. The path to mastering your mind is a lifelong journey, and every step you take brings you closer to your true potential. Stay curious, stay mindful, and let's continue walking this path together. Until next time, may your mind be at peace and your heart full of wisdom. Take care.